I'm Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Red Alert for May 31. It has been such a blessed month for those who love Israel as we commemorated and celebrated many important national and religious events. On Wednesday, May 17th, the Jerusalem Connection family, including President Shelley Neese and I, attended the Israel Allies Foundation's Israel Allies Caucus Jerusalem Day celebration on Capitol Hill. Immediately afterwards, we attended a gala to celebrate Israel's 75th anniversary as a modern state. This gala was sponsored by the ICEJ, the ACLI, and numerous other Zionist organizations, including the Jerusalem Connection. The day was filled with a treasure trove of guests who graced the festivities with words of inspiration. Stay tuned for a small sampling of just a few of the highlights of the day.
I want to thank the Israel Allies Foundation for setting this up, and in particular, Josh Reinstein, the president of IAM, Dr. David Weldon, Florida, and Mike Soto, Indiana, both former colleagues, members of Congress, and now board members. As you know, the foundation brings Christian and Jewish leaders from across the country together and across the world. And at a moment when Israel is facing unprecedented challenges, but an argument second also unprecedented opportunities.
We don't understand that actually Jerusalem of the Bible was all in East Jerusalem under Jordanian control. The Jerusalem that then developed in the West, which is the more modern part of the city, was not even there during the biblical time. So biblical Jerusalem, we can never allow the city to be divided again and we lose biblical Jerusalem. The Mount of Olives, the city of David, the Old City, the Temple Mount, the Western Wall, all of those areas. That's why it is so critical that Israel never be divided again and that we stand for a united Jerusalem, a united Jerusalem under Israeli sovereignty.
And to see today embassies in Jerusalem, anti-BDS legislation, observed status in the African Union, IRA definition across the countries as a result of faith-based diplomacy is just an amazing blessing. We need to thank God for all He's done to be so ending of His covenant with Jewish people and all the people that call out His name. So we want to thank God for everything that He's done. We want to thank you all for standing in Jerusalem, and hopefully we'll get to spend a lot more time as the day unfolds. Thank you all for being here for our Yom Yerushalayim Jerusalem Day celebration.
This foundation, we're not really huge. We don't have a lot of staff. We don't have a huge budget. You can say ditto for some of these other ministries out there supporting it. But we get a lot done. And the reason we get a lot done is when you're on God's team, you can get a lot done.
It's great to be here with all of you. I just came from a Foreign Affairs Committee meeting. I was honored to be with Speaker McCarthy 2 weeks ago in Israel to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Israel, and the Speaker to be only the second Speaker in the history of the United States to deliver remarks at the Knesset. And it really was a historic
who recognized the State of Israel in 1948, just 11 minutes after Israel's creation. The historical record shows that this decision was not easy for President Truman. He faced opposition from senior officials in the Department of State, first and foremost Secretary of State George Marshall.
Thank you to the International Christian Embassy
of Jerusalem for hosting this gala dinner celebrating Israel's 75th anniversary.
That Jason's going to miss his flight because he's actually on the board of Allie, so we think we'll be able to
Fly Allie.
So Jason, people here are people of faith, and you grew up as a practicing Jew in America. How was it to be a part and one of the architects of the Abraham Accords, bringing together Israel, America, Bahrain, the UAE, Morocco? What was it like?
Before I answer the question, thank you for having me as a guest. Thank you to all the hosts. You know, life is a bit gloomy around the world, but when I come to dinners like this and see the passion and the excitement for Israel, it really brings tremendous joy to me. So thank you for all that you do for Israel.
I visited the Holy Land, visited Israel on an APAC trip. And the person who helped lead that trip, Arlene Samuels, is here tonight. Where's Arlene? Other than my marriage and the birth of my children, it was the most transformative experiences of my life. If you've never had a chance to go, you must. There's a couple things that stood out for me. One, I remember visiting Yad Vashem and going to the Children's Memorial there. And you walk into this hall of mirrors with just the lights, and then you see the faces of the children. And you realize their lives had been taken and they had been murdered. Not because of anything they had ever done, but because of simply who they were. I remember the next day going with Arlene down to Sderot on the Gaza border, where, to remind you, Israel voluntarily left Gaza and did plan for peace. And the only response they got were rockets after rockets after rockets.